Gwen, Noah, and the Goths are a few contestants that are universally loved by the total drama fandom. But it just happens that I'm not really the biggest fan of these characters. But what if we do the opposite? Who are the total drama characters that almost everyone hates but I love? Let's explore that. And yes, I know my taste is very weird, don't judge. So today, we're gonna look at which total drama characters that most people hate, but I actually like. But before we start, be sure to check out Total Drama Winter Games. The first 2 episodes are now out, and also join the Patreon if you want to get a shout out in the next episode. Starting off, we have this underrated gem, and that is Stacy. I know from many of the cast and the fandom that she is annoying because of his constant yapping, with all the
great Uncle James invented log cabins.
I sometimes also find it annoying, especially if I would be her teammate. But from a viewer's perspective, it is so annoying it is fun. I can kind of relate to Stacy because sometimes I am not aware of how much I talk, and lying can sometimes be fun. But the fact she believes all her own lies, she probably lives in Delulu land, just like me. So this is how Stacy could win total drama. She keeps yapping in everyone's ears until they bleed, and they get medically evacuated. With only Stacy left, she wins by default. We can only dream about that. Anyways, justice for my girl Stacy because she did not deserve to be bald. Hashtag stop the Stacy hate and bring her hair back. Next, we have both Millie and Priya. They are probably the most hated from the new season together with Chase, Ripper, and Caleb. But I don't care. I adore these two. Mostly because 1, I love their design, and 2, they kinda relatable to me. Priya, because I also had very strict parents who pushed me a little bit too much, although I was not as successful as her. People do not like that Priya got so much screen time, especially in Season 2 after she already won Season 1. But I don't care. Fresh TV, give her the screen time she deserves, and I'm okay if she makes it to the top 5 again. But let's be honest, girl, you need to ditch Caleb. He is dragging your legacy down. And for Millie, she is probably the closest to me out of any characters personality-wise. I am judgmental. I mean, I am here judging cartoon characters from a TV show on YouTube. And yes, I would probably suck at the total drama challenges too. So I would not mind being carried to the final 3. And that's why people don't really like her, because she got quote-unquote dragged to the final 3. And what is wrong with that? She just played the under-the-radar strategy, letting the others take out themselves when you can just slide further into the game. She had to do what she needed to get that check, like come on now. Yes, she did push Damien down and almost killed him, but it was for a cause. And he was fine like the next episode. Also, he did forgive her, so it wasn't that bad, except that she got eliminated. But that was in Season 2, and she was already hated in Season 1. So that Damien thing wasn't really a big deal for her hate train, it just fueled the flame even more. As usual, we always end these long Millie monologues with the hashtag #StopTheMillieHate. Another character almost everyone hates, and I mean everyone, is Sugar. There are not many Sugar lovers out there. We are a very rare breed, and I'm glad to be a part of it, with like 5 others in the whole world. So everything I say here is my own opinion, and of course, it's gonna be biased since it's Queen Sugar I'm talking about. People hate Sugar because she is weird and disgusting, basically an Owen 2.0, and a very bad villain. Like, I can agree to some extent that she was a little bit questionable, but she was based on Honey Boo Boo, and they were weird as heck. It might just be me having bad childish humor, but sometimes these gross and weird things are kind of funny to me, and that's why I love Sugar. She makes me laugh. Another point was that she was a bad villain and a mean character. To me, I just saw it as she was different from every other antagonist. Usually, the antagonist is someone who is sneaky and strategic, and they are very easy to spot each season. It's like they are checking in a few boxes to make them a villain. To be honest, when Pakitu Island was originally released, I did not see her as one of the main antagonists. For me, she was the comic relief. It was years later I found out that she was the main antagonist of Pakitu Island. So I can see why people don't like her as an antagonist, because she operated very differently than, for example, Heather, Alejandro, or Bowie. Sugar was just herself and she did things her way. That's why she was a bad antagonist argument doesn't really work for me as much. Because I liked her character before I even knew she was an antagonist, that argument never bothered me that much. People also think that Sugar was not a good game player. Socially, no, she sucked at that. But she was actually a serious challenge threat, and she did have some strategic aspect in her. She had a 7 immunity win streak that made her safe when almost everyone hated her. She successfully tricked Ella into singing, and she got rid of Jasmine, another big threat. And she did have some strategic thinking sometimes, which was rare in her season. That barely had that. Too bad the judges' ears sucked because her country rapping was the best. Totally not biased, of course. But I do see why she is so hated, but that makes me liking her much more special. So, to end this sugar monologue, let's use the hashtag #StopTheSugarHate, because she is an iconic queen. Meanwhile, the reboot cast farted more than her. If you have seen my videos of season 1 of the reboot, you might not know that I hated this character, but after season 2, my love for this character has grown a lot, and that is the fart machine man, Ripper. Actually, he doesn't fart anymore. It's women's respecter and equality fighter Ripper. I don't have much to say other than this has changed, man, and we all love growth. If you search growth on Google, images of Ripper will show up. Imagine going from F tier to A tier in Dawnsbubble tier list in one season. Like, that is so amazing. So hashtag Ripper is a girly pop. And a few bonuses, or honorable mentions, I would say, are Eva. I don't think many people hate Eva, it's just that not enough people care about her, so I wouldn't really say people hate her. But I think she is iconic and should have been the Aftermath hosts instead of Bridget and Jeff. A lot of people also doesn't really like Scott in All Stars, because they kind of dumbed him down after being the main antagonist in Revenge. But I don't know. I prefer All Stars Scott than Revenge Scott. And finally, Max. I feel like he is overhated. It's probably because he was ugly. I mean, when I was younger and the season first came out, I hated Max and was angry he made it far. But then I remember he is just a failed villain in a funny way, similar to Heinz Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb. Well, that was it for this video. The next time we see each other will be Winter Games, and maybe I will do another video, where I talk about characters that everyone likes but I do not. If you are interested of that, be sure to leave a like and comment below, and don't forget to subscribe as well for more awesome videos.